Thank you all for coming here today to show love for our students. Mother Collier was supposed to be here doing prayer. This has been like an amazing journey. If you can believe it, it was all of 3 weeks that all of this stuff came together. So give all yourself a round of applause, please. So I'm gonna do a prayer. And somebody need to be quiet. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we come before you right now, and we thank you for this beautiful day that you've made. We ask that you bless this caravan, everybody that is connected with this. We're doing this for our children, our youth, our parents. This is the year of 2020, and the class of 2020 was denied graduations through no fault of their own, last football games through no fault of their own, proms and all the speeches and the recitals through no fault of their own. And so, Father God, we ask that you just bless everyone within the sound of my voice, in this parking lot and around this route, in the city of Boston. We're Boston strong, we're Massachusetts strong. We ask that you bless us and keep us from all hurt, harm, and danger, from the top to the bottom. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Amen. Now we're going to hear Sister, come on now. Sister, is it Angel Monet or Monet?
Angel Monet's fine.
Angel Monet, and she actually was inspired to write a song that's called Massachusetts Strong.
Hello, I'm so honored to be here. Thank you so much, Sharon, for inviting me. And I just want all the graduates to know that I love you, congratulations, and just know that you are strong. You come from a strong state, and I'm going to sing this song that I wrote 3 weeks ago. And I hope you enjoy it. A little portion of it. Beautiful landscapes of Massachusetts, it's home to top education. We're strong and liberated people, resilient in our own way. We the people of Massachusetts take care of one another. Our healthcare and frontline and businesses too. We can get through anything together. First public park, American library, first in the USA. First to abolish slavery, inventors of basketball, we have paved the way. Paved the way. Massachusetts strong, we stand together, for each other is one. Massachusetts strong, our towns and cities, diverse communities are one. From the mayors to the governor, healthline workers, frontline and EMT, from the neighbors to our citizens. We are family. We are family. Massachusetts strong. We stand together, for each other is one. Massachusetts strong. Our towns and cities, diverse communities are one. From the mayors to the governor, frontline healthcare workers and EMT, from our neighbors to our citizens. We are family. Ooh. Massachusetts strong. Hey, Massachusetts strong. Massachusetts strong. Thank you.
So So if everybody believes we're Massachusetts strong, say, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Whoa, I'm feeling that. Everybody that thinks we're Boston strong, say, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm feeling that. I want to thank Sister Monet Ledbetter, Gaudet, Angel Monet for the beautiful song, 3 weeks. See what you can do when people love each other and they come together. Oh man, I got to do this, y'all. I want to thank all the elected officials, and I got to shout out, you know, it's easy to be in a position of leadership and criticize. I'm trying to encourage people not to just criticize, like do something. And it's okay if you're not perfect and you don't have it all right, just do something. I thought it was hilarious when I started organizing a caravan and I don't have a car. So I was like, okay, how's that gonna work? I want to thank Mayor Marty Walsh. We were reminiscing about when I first met him before he ran. He was still a state rep and he ran for mayor. And he said, I'm gonna be the mayor. We were at, well, it was Dudley Square at that point. Now it's Nubian Square. And sure enough, I met Superintendent Dr. Brenda Cassellius in Mattapan. She vowed that she was going to visit every single school, and I met her at a parents' meeting in Mattapan. I said, I like you, I hope you're around. Commissioner Gross, we meet in all sorts of strange places, and not strange, like weird strange. I'm just saying, I think the last time was at the Kennedy Center when an author was actually recognizing the 100 great people in Boston. And Chief Kenneth Green, I just met today, but he's a brother from another mother. So I thank you. And you guys stepped up within 24 hours, and it was crazy. I mean, who am I? I'm a parent, and I'm an educator, and I got this inspiration because of my daughter, who's a graduate at the University of Maine. So all the elected officials, John Kennedy was here, Julia Mejia is here. Any elected officials here, can you raise your hand? China Tyler, China, Sonia Chang Diaz.
And our mayor.
No, I already mentioned the mayor. He came first. Governor Baker actually was trying to be here and he couldn't, but he also got back to me within 48 hours, so that's phenomenal. Don't think that you can't touch them, you can't reach them. Don't think that they don't want to hear from you, it's just a lot. There were other elected officials. We reached out to everyone in the district. Some of them could make it, some of them were here earlier, and they had to go because this is graduation season. We're indeed Massachusetts strong and Boston strong. To every student, every parent, every teacher, every first responder, doctor, nurse, grocery worker, sanitation worker, business owner, elected official, child, religious leader, farm worker, service worker, undocumented immigrant, incarcerated person, homeless, unemployed employee or employer, persons with disabilities, every human being, things will get better. God hasn't forgotten you, and neither have we. Every parent's prayer is that our children get to live, and every human's hope is that we can all breathe. Young people, look around. All the young people here and the ones that will see this on social media, look around at all the people that came together to show that they love you, respect you, your achievements and accomplishments. As we go through these communities, you will see through the honking and clapping all of the parents, communities, and classmates that are with you, behind you, and believe in you. The African proverb says it takes a village to raise a child, and this is your village. We are your village. And the village is black, white, gay, straight, Christian, Muslim, everybody. Everybody. Can you say everybody? This pandemic is trying to kill everything human. So if you're a human being, that's the only race you need to be concerned about right now is the human race. This village is all of us. And what we do for each other matters to all of us. All lives will matter when Black lives matter.
That's right.
We'll always be black and beautiful. We will remain Boston strong. And please believe, we gonna be all right. Gonna be all right. The next voice you will hear will be Boston's Mayor Marty Walsh. He's a man trying to be the best leader in the best of times and the worst of times. Ladies and gentlemen, the city of Boston, may I present to you the Honorable Mayor Martin J. Walsh.
Thank you, Sharon. And I just want to take a minute to, for all of us to give Sharon a nice round of applause and recognize her. This is not easy. This is not an easy time. But she loves you, the graduates of 2020. We all love you, the graduates of 2020. This is my first public event that I've come to since the whole COVID-19 started. And I think it's really important that we're here today. I want to thank the Boston Black COVID-19 Coalition Education Committee for your incredible work. I want to thank our superintendent. Superintendent came to Boston almost a year ago and came to make a change. She came to because she loves kids, and the kids of Boston are her kids. When we talk, she talks about my kids. And a week ago, she was in Minnesota, where she's from and lives, and she saw firsthand what was happening in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, before we saw the impact here in the city of Boston. And what she said to me on the phone, as she remembers, I'm worried about my kids, and how are my kids going to process what's going on? And how are my kids going to stay safe during protests? And how are my kids going to continue to learn? That's our superintendent in Boston. And I'd like to say a nice hello and welcome to Superintendent Brenda Cassellius. I also want to thank Commissioner Gross and the entire Boston Police Department. This is a difficult time. This is an emotional time. And I'm going to let the Commissioner speak for himself, but having him, I am grateful having Commissioner Gross lead our department at this time in history. Because at this time in history, that's what matters right now. Because yesterday's gone, we can't forget what happened yesterday. It's about what we do today and how we take action tomorrow. So thank you, Commissioner Gross, for your great work. I want to thank MBTA Chief Kenny Green for a lot of things, but most importantly, thank you for letting us be on your property today. I appreciate it. And to all the elected officials that are here, that have come and gone, thank you very much for taking the time out, because I know it's important to all of you to be here today. I want to congratulations to all the families and loved ones that are here today. Raising a child takes a village. These young people that are here today benefited from your support, your mentorship, and your love every step of the journey. That's what we are all about here in Boston. Nothing should keep us from supporting one another in any time, under any situation. This clearly is an unconventional graduation season, but the spirit remains the same. I'm done thanking everybody, because I didn't come here to thank everybody. I came here to acknowledge and recognize and thank the class of 2020. Your class, a few weeks ago, I would have said, has gone through one of the most interesting, traumatic, sad, difficult times in the history of any graduation class of high school. But you are living through and experiencing and going through the most turbulent time of any other graduating class in the history of Massachusetts, Boston, and possibly the world. But you're always going to be united by the shared experience and resilience. As this class 2020, as you're making your transition into adulthood, you're doing it at a very pivotal moment in American history. I'm not just talking about the global pandemic, even though that seems to be forgotten, but it's not forgotten, so everyone remember today. Social distancing. We shouldn't be shaking hands, we shouldn't be hugging. I know it's awful to say, because as humans and as people, that's what I love to do, and we all love to do that, but we still have the coronavirus. But the persistent fight that you're facing on all fronts, like inequality, systemic racism, threats to civil rights, and climate change. We must all, together, keep moving forward and making progress, and not let anyone or anything or any anti-movement or any so-called leader in this country take us backwards. Our world, our future depends upon it. As a society, a lot of people are talking about wanting life to go back to normal after this pandemic ends. Well, you know what? We shouldn't let it go back to normal. If anything that this pandemic has certainly shed a light on is the enduring problems that we face as a society. We must work together to achieve a new and a better normal. A new and a better normal. One that is inclusive, one that lifts everyone up. These past few weeks have shown how important it is to take action. I just want to take a second to talk to you as a white guy. I've had, from Dorchester, but a white guy, doesn't matter where I'm from. Well, it does in Boston. I'm proud to be from Dorchester. I've had a gamut of emotion go through my body. People criticizing, people thanking. I've been having real deep conversations with many people who work with me every day, in particularly black people that work with me every day, to talk about what's going on and what the black community, what the African American community is feeling. And then I had a conversation about the Latino community and what the Latino community is feeling. And then I had a conversation about the Asian community, what the Asian community is feeling. And everyone is kind of just in this space, and I'm one of those people. And not one person is going to say a speech, or should say a speech, that's going to make everything okay. Because it's so much deeper than that. And we should acknowledge that and recognize that. Every conversation I've had with a black person this week, whether it's been somebody who's been a laborer, somebody who dropped out of high school, somebody who went to college, somebody who graduated Harvard, somebody that works in the boardroom, somebody that works on the street. You'd think having those conversations, you'd have different experiences and get different experiences. And every experience was the same. Everybody's experience was the same. Which is why I said the other day, we need to listen. And when I say listen, I'm not saying just listen and don't take action. Of course I mean take action. But we need to listen and understand and hear people. Because if we don't do that, if we don't hear people, and we don't do that, well, I'll tell you what's going to happen. The summer's going to come. The pandemic's going to end. We're going to go back to life. And we're going to ignore the feelings that I have today. Because those feelings will be a distant memory. And I also said, and I also am saying this, as a white person, that the uncomfortableness that I have in me is not good. I don't like that feeling. I don't like going through life uncomfortable.
You're welcome here.
But for all of the black people, and everyone else, but I'm talking about black people today, that uncomfortable feeling for all of the rest of us, think about this, is every day. Is every day. And we need to acknowledge that. We need to understand that, not acknowledge it, understand it, and then acknowledge it. So to the class of 2020, I'm going to sum it up this way. In 1918, we had a global pandemic. And in 1918, that class became the beginning of the greatest generation. There were stories of black soldiers fighting for this country, white soldiers fighting for this country, Latino soldiers fighting for this country. And they became part of a generation that we look back on and we say, wow, that generation was incredible because they fought for freedom and equality in the world. And they did. But that work's not done. So I feel in my heart that this generation, the class of 2020, You're going to be the next greatest generation because you're going to finish that work. God bless you and congratulations.
I want to thank our mayor. Can we give him one more round of applause? I'm going to spend most of my time talking to the students, my students, who are here today. Where are you? Let's give them a round of applause. And to our parents who have raised these beautiful, powerful, strong children, let's give them a round of applause too, to all of our parents. Thank you, Sharon, for bringing us all together. Thank you to the Buffalo Riders for being here today and helping us have soldiers for having a wonderful caravan today to go through our neighborhoods, to say hello to all of our 2020 class and to inspire them and to encourage them forward. The mayor said I came to Boston to make a difference. I was just in Minneapolis with my children, but my children are here in Boston too, and I came back because I felt compelled in this moment to be here with all of you and with our children, make sure they're safe, make sure they're loved, make sure they're fed, and make sure they're educated. And that's what the Boston Public Schools is going to do, and that is what we've been doing, reaching out, giving computers to our kids, and making sure that they have what they need. And you all has helped us, and parents, you know you got my little robocall saying, thank you, parents, for helping us, because we can't do this work alone. And in this moment, for black people particular, who on any measure are not getting the best end of the stick. And as a black woman, I spent 32 years of my career, and I came to Boston to change that. I came to Boston for this class of 2020. And I can't thank you enough for being here today to inspire them, because they had to miss out on some of their celebrations this year. The hard work that you all put in, students, all of this year, and then to do it remotely too. I know you've been feeling isolated. I know this has not been easy. You haven't been able to connect with your peers. You haven't been able to play on your team sports. You haven't been able to celebrate together, give hugs, do all the things that teenagers do. But we will get through this together, because you are strong, you are difference makers, and we see your worth and your potential. But I have a call to action to you today, every single student here, and that is to vote. Get involved civically. Know the issues, because in this moment, I don't know that we'll have another one. And in this moment, you have the opportunity to change the world. And I thank the youth and the BSAC, the Boston Student Advisory Council, for helping to organize the peaceful protest on that first night. It was the youth who have been leading us. It was the youth who led us in the 60s. And so let's listen to our youth, let's honor them, let's inspire them, and let's lift them up. And this class of 2020, congratulations. Go out, be the difference makers I know you are, and if you can, come back and be a teacher.
Thank you, Sharon. Let me check the time. Good afternoon, everybody. Well, now that you can see my big smile on my face, there's a big smile on my face because of the graduating class of 2020. Let's give them a hand. Whew. I'm glad the news is here today, because we're going to break some negative stereotypical views and perceptions. We do have graduates of 2020 that are black, Latino, Cabo Verde, and Caucasian. We do have black and brown parents here supporting their children. We do have black fathers here supporting their children, black, Latino, and Cabo Verde. In Boston's at least 50% people of color. All right? Let's start respecting each other. I am so happy to be here to share my congratulations with this class. Thank you, Mayor Walsh. Thank you, Sharon, Superintendent, wherever you went. See, where'd you go? But our superintendent of schools, come on, she came in the fourth quarter and is expected to win the Super Bowl, but she's not alone. We're winners. So we're going to make sure, because education is one of the most important components to making sure that our future leaders have what they need to be successful. Back to the class of 2020. Thank you all for your support. The mayor, the elected officials, the cabinet heads. But you, the parents, friends, and supporters, you that have been with them since they were babies until they're graduating now. Again, I'm glad the news is here to break another negative stereotypical view and perception. There's only 1 or 2% committed to violent acts, ruining protests, and it's not the graduating class of 2020. So let's make sure that they're not grouped in by people who don't even come down here or over there to even learn about these students. We want to make sure that they get their due. They deserve it. They are the only class to go through a pandemic and then a time of civil unrest because of the cowardice acts that committed murder by the Minneapolis Four. They have to live through all of this. They deserve their credit. Give them the credit that they are due. Let's give them a hand again. Also, we're here for a reason. I know in my personal life, I never thought as a young black kid I'd be the first African-American chief followed by the first African-American commissioner. Check it out. Because I didn't have the vision. Because I thought it was an unobtainable goal with a brick ceiling. We have to make sure that the class of 2020, this graduating class, you may not see this vision, but we see it for you. We know who you are. We know your potential, and we're here to stay with you, not only after you graduate today, but into the future, because you are the next mayor, superintendent of schools, elected officials, commissioners, and presidents. You need to know that. When our young people, our future leaders, don't have that vision, we need to be their eyes and ears, and we need to make sure that they can see a brighter future. And what a future it is in the graduating class of 2020. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to put this out there right now that the superintendent and the commissioner stole some of my thunder, so I'm going to be repeating a few things. You know, they weren't with me last night when I was writing my speech. I wanted to put a few things down so I can remember everything I want to say. So bear with me, please. First of all, good afternoon, and congratulations on graduating from high school, and best wishes for the next steps in your academic or professional journey. I know the last 3 months have been tough. The COVID-19 pandemic has interrupted your high school journey and experiences. Remote learning, no school activities to include the prom, no traditional graduation, and not being able to spend time with family and friends. Your world, as you know it, was turned upside down. We know it wasn't easy, but you made it. Give them a round of applause. In the last 12 weeks, class of 2020, you've witnessed senseless killings of unarmed black men and women, many by the hands of individuals that wear a uniform that looks just like mine. Those individuals, as I took an oath of office in honor to protect and serve the citizens in our community. Many of these deaths played out on television screens and on social media for the world to see, and ultimately mobilizing people from around the world to demonstrate and protest, showing their hurt, anger, and outrage. What you have witnessed, class of 2020, is how change has been effective in this country by people from all walks of life, demonstrating that change is needed. You can be part of that change by registering to vote and to get others to vote as well. Voting is just not a right, it's just not a right, but a responsibility. You, the class of the graduating class of 2020, our future leaders. The injustice that you witnessed, such as the murder of George Floyd at the hands of law enforcement in Minneapolis, will one day be a thing in the past, because you, as the commissioner said, will be the next police chief. You will be the next mayor. You will be the next superintendent of education. And you, through your leadership, will be the ambassadors of change that will ensure that injustices such as that will never be allowed again. You are young, empowered, and have everything you need to become successful in every sense of the word. Don't let society put you into a box and tell you who you can and cannot be. You need to learn and understand that there will be naysayers every step of the way. Believe me, I know. So surround yourself with people who support you and know that you are the maker of your own destiny. But before I go, there was just one other thought I want to leave with you. When you become successful in your chosen fields and you reach that point in life where you think you have achieved everything you set out to achieve, remember this day. Remember that you started here in this great city where others just like you are starting out their journeys into life as you know it. Remember all the people that helped you along the way. Those who aided your growth and helped you become who you wanted to be. Then pay it forward to the ones that will come after you. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. And again, congratulations.
¿Qué pasa? No se preocupen, I speak English too, okay? So you won't need a translator right now. So I'm Julia Mejia, at-large city councilor, and when we talk about voting, I'm gonna tell you how important we all are, because I won by one vote, okay? And that one vote came from Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan, Hyde Park, you know, the hood. So I say that proudly because we cannot forget the power that we have. Okay? I was also the first person in my family to graduate high school, from Dorchester High School to here. Okay? That's right. Give it up. I worked really hard. Dorchester Bears all the way. I was almost 20 years old by the time I graduated because I had dropped out and I went back. So I can only imagine, right, what it feels like for young people today who are graduating, who have worked really hard to walk across that stage and have that moment stolen by COVID-19, okay? We know how hard it is to dodge bullets every single day in this neighborhood. We know how hard it is to have to work 2 to 3 jobs to make our ends meet. And we know how hard it is for you all young people to have to work those same jobs so you can help your family survive. But nonetheless, you still did it. Okay? So I say this to you all, that COVID-19 has not stolen that moment. What it has done, helped you realize your power in this moment, right? Because you are still standing, all right? I didn't come here with a speech, y'all, so I'm freestyling. I know Sharon, wait. And first I should have said thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you, Sharon, for inviting me, all that good stuff, blah. Got it. But I would be remiss to say that as a parent, right, who right now is experiencing the hurts. This is our moment in time. And if we don't seize this moment as a people to rise up and step to the side and ensure that our young people are ready to lead, we have failed them as parents, okay? So I am putting out a call to action and inspiring everybody here to not only just give young people lip service, but to recognize the role that we all play in making sure that they have the tools, the resources, inspiration to lead with their hearts to bring us to the next level. Because they are who we have been waiting for. But it's our responsibility making sure that we provide them that platform to do this work, okay? So without further ado, I'm gonna end this by remembering and encouraging you all to never forget that nothing about us without us is for us. Okay? And you all have a very decision of, it's voting time, y'all. In November, I want to see everybody out there exercising their right to vote. And it's not just about what's happening on the federal level. I need you all to come out state and local, because what happens locally impacts nationally. So congratulations to the class of 2020. Now let's get it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out. And first, I want to say congratulations to the class of 2020. Myself, I am Representative China Tyler, and I represent the 7th Suffolk District, so way outside my district, but I couldn't, miss this moment to say congratulations to students. And you guys are so important to me because I grew up right here in Boston, in Roxbury, and it was very, very difficult to me to rise as a student. And there was just one school, this one opportunity that I had that really made me jump into really engaging in my academics, and from then I soared. And I had the opportunity to do some things that people around me probably wouldn't have had to be able to do. I went to Northeastern for free, I went to Harvard, and I touched so many different campuses I wouldn't think that I would touch because I didn't know anybody around me that really did that. And so in my role today as a state rep, and when people tell you that you can't do something, you absolutely can. Just because you're young, that doesn't mean you can't do anything. When I was 26 years old, I won an election to be a state rep. So for those that tell you that you can't, we're going to make sure we'll be here to support you to make sure that you can. And moving forward, we just want you to know we're here to support you. If you guys need internships, all the electeds that spoke, we all have youth programs, internships. We're here to support you, and we want you to win. And when you win, come back, because again, you are the future to our city, and we thank you so much for everything you do. And again, yes, you can.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sonia Chang Diaz. I represent part of Mattapan, all the way from the South End through Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan, and surrounding neighborhoods. And I'm honored to represent many of you in the State Senate. I'm also here, like many of my colleagues before me, on a personal level, as an educator, as a parent, and as someone who's so deeply proud of the students and the parents and the educators that I see here before me today. And it's hot, it's late, we want to get in the cars, we want to get this party started. So I'm just going to say very briefly, I want to pick up on what my colleague Julia Mejia said, that although COVID-19 has robbed many of you, has robbed the graduates here of the moments that you have so keenly been looking forward to, the prom, the graduation, walking across that stage when you hear your name called out. And it's a pain, and we can't deny that that is a pain that you will carry with you. But it is also, this moment is preparing you. This moment is making you stronger. This moment is giving you the tools and the strength that you are going to need and that we as a community are going to need going forward. And I think about all that you have learned through your K-12 career and through your high school years and the ways that it's going to manifest, hopefully sooner rather than later. I think about all of you who have learned how to plot a graph, read a spreadsheet. You may be the next journalists that write about the health disparities that plague this community. When you don't have those skills, we can't tell those truths that need to be told. The skills that you have learned to write a persuasive letter. You may be the person, the next Julia Mejia, the next China Tyler, who stands up and uses those skills on the floor of the House or Senate, or writing a letter to legislative colleagues, or as a private citizen, writing it to your elected officials to bring the truths that we need to bring in this moment about COVID-19, about long-standing structural racism, about police accountability. We need those skills, and this moment is going to make you stronger in those skills. And when we know you're tired, we're tired, these fights are exhausting, but when this moment gives you that grit to put one foot in front of the other, day after day, even when you're tired, to put your hand out to your neighbor who's also tired and pull them on your back and pull them along until they find new energy. These are the skills that we are going to need to keep these fights up, because they are going to be long fights. But we need you, class of 2020, and I am so proud and so thrilled to see what you do next. Godspeed.
everyone. My name is Kadra Hopkins, and I am the valedictorian from Boston Arts Academy. Class of 2020, I am so thankful to be here today. I am thankful to be speaking to my peers who are celebrating the same accomplishments as me. I am thankful that I decided to attend Boston Arts Academy and experience some of the most amazing things. BAA has taught me a lot of lessons about love, life, education, and more. But the most important lesson learned was that when you have the opportunity, use your platform. To start off, I would like to share a story. When I was in about 6th grade, my mother told me that I am blessed with white skin. I identify as mixed, my mom is black, and my dad is white. Now, when my mother said this to me, I had no clue what she meant exactly. I grew up in a small town that was predominantly white, and although my family was black, I was not exposed to enough racism to understand what she meant or why she would say that to me. It wasn't until I started educating myself that I realized that in America, life is harder when your skin is darker. It is a sad truth, but as humans, we all have the power to change the narrative. I would like to use my platform today to commend the class of 2020. I strongly believe that the class of 2020 is a class of change. When we would have been taking the time to prepare for graduation and what comes after, we are now taking the time to fix the injustices that have been corrupting the U.S. for centuries. We have grown through the media and other platforms, and the progress is being made. After being stuck at home for so long, we are now able to make real progress towards healing and recovery. No longer are we ignoring the pain that racism causes. No longer are we sitting back and witnessing the racist bones of America rip apart people's lives and families. Together we can make a change. We can shape the future to what we want it to be. When you all leave here today, think about what you want the future to look like. Now think about what steps you need to take to achieve that. We can do it together. Class of 2020, I am proud of us. Congratulations.
How's everybody doing this morning? Well, this evening, afternoon, I'm sorry. First, I want to thank God, my mom, my dad, my girlfriend, everyone that's helped me motivate me to be here through my academic journey, and also my grandmother who couldn't be here. She didn't make it to this day, but I know she's looking down proud of me right now because I could graduate. COVID-19 has affected me in so many different ways. I wasn't allowed the last moments with my loved ones. I wasn't also allowed the last moments of my senior year. But it also taught me how to never take anything for granted. It also taught me how to be even more excited for my next 4 years at UMass Dartmouth, studying in computer science. And it also taught me how to live in the moment. Growing up, I always heard my father, I went to the same school as my father. I'm the senior class president of East Boston High School. My father went to East Boston High School during busing, and I always heard stories of him telling me the racial injustice that has happened to him. The same fight he has fought is the same fight we are fighting to change today. We need to be out there rooting for change. Out here, it's the same thing. Nothing has changed. We need everyone out here using their platforms to make sure racial injustice is changed in Massachusetts. There's no way it is 2020 and we should still be fighting for justice. It's too long. 400 years, it's too long. I just want my seniors here to know the challenges we face today are preparing us for the challenges we face in the future. Although the days we face today are bleak and they are dark, the sun always rises in the end. Keep fighting for equality, justice, change, and reform, and remember that Black Lives Matter.
Can we give a last round for all of our speakers, especially our students? I think I lost 5 pounds and got a little bit of a tan out here. Thank you all for coming here today. Can we give a round of applause to all of our elected officials that showed out? They don't just come out when somebody gets hurt, they come out when it's good times too. Come on, y'all. It's not that hot. So here's the deal. I need everybody, and listen to me, because it's going to be one time. It's my teacher mode going now. Everybody get into your cars, start your engines. We are going out this way. The police detail is going first. The Rough Riders are going second. A bus, Buffalo Soldiers, I'm so sorry, my brothers. I'm so sorry. Let me get it right. A bus of students is going next, and then cars will be going in between the buses. Do you hear me? I don't think you heard me. Did y'all hear me? Get into your cars now, and we are leaving in 5 minutes. Start your engines now.